We're recording.
Okay. Okay, so what we're talking about was, what was the question again?
It was
Silicone.
how many cc's?
I don't know. I'm just looking.
There's no government standards for bra sizes.
Okay.
And you would have thought after 8 years of Clinton that we would have had that.
Hey guys, so I've brought you guys here with me today. I am coming in for a consultation with my favorite plastic surgeon, Dr. Feldman. I'm here at Advanced Aesthetics. I have decided that after having 2 babies, breastfeeding one of them, losing a lot of that baby weight that I had on me at one time, my breasts have deflated a little bit. We're gonna see what my options are. We're gonna see what he might be able to do to just kind of get the figure back that I once had.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hey, Dr. Feldman. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So, I came in about 3 years ago to get a breast augmentation and I chickened out. So, I think they've fallen even more. I'm missing the volume at the top. So, I want to see what my options are. I want to explore getting a breast augmentation again.
Let's examine you and just see where we are.
Okay.
We at 22.5 centimeters here
Okay.
on both sides. So they're even.
They're even?
They're even, although actually the visible border here is lower than the visible border on your right side.
So, what does that mean, the visible border?
Okay, well actually, let me just do a measurement. But so here, this is measuring 9 centimeters, and over here, this is measuring 10 centimeters.
Oh,
So to give you an
a
idea,
centimeter.
so actually, the distance from your nipple down to your fold
Okay.
is a centimeter more than from here to here.
Does that mean this breast hangs lower?
It's just correct. As if you were to put in a level here,
Right.
you'd say this part of the border
Okay.
is lower than this part.
Okay.
The nipples are even, the tops are even, but the visible border is
Okay.
lower. Now, actually, and also you have
That's
some.
interesting.
You have a little bit of droop to your breast. So here is, if we put a tape measure, and I'm going to make just a little mark on you, and your mark is right at the level of your nipple over here.
Okay.
So what that means is that I think that we could actually accomplish your goals with just a breast augmentation.
Oh, good.
Okay?
That's what I'd like. I think.
Because if you're at the level of, if the nipple's at the level of the fold, we can lower the fold a little bit more and make the nipples, the implant centered behind the nipple,
Okay.
and then give you fullness around this.
Okay.
If your nipple was below the level of the fold,
Okay.
then we would be lowering the implant too much, and either your breast mount would end up too low on your chest wall,
Right.
you wouldn't like it, or we start getting distortion on the bottom half of your breast
What
mount.
are my options for implants? Because I've done some research and what's better, saline or silicone?
Well, they're both good choices.
Okay.
And they're both ruled by the FDA to be safe and effective.
Okay.
Reason for silicone gel implants is that they feel more natural to palpation.
Okay.
Somebody to palpation. Somebody
Okay.
examining your breast
Okay.
would actually think they felt more natural.
Okay.
And also,
So my husband would be happy with them, is what you're telling me.
correct.
I mean, come on, let's just be honest, lady.
There's less chance of having rippling to the implant.
Okay.
And also less chance of having a palpable ripple to the implant.
Okay. With silicone.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So saline's advantages are that they can go in through a smaller incision.
Okay.
The implants are less expensive.
Okay. Say a smaller incision, like, are we talking like if I decided to do silicone because they look more natural and that's probably what my husband would like. Am I talking big scar? Am I talking little scar? How big is the scar?
It's probably about 4.5 centimeters. So
Okay.
maybe like 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Where with a saline implant, maybe we can make it just a little bit above an inch.
Oh, okay. So that is kind of a big difference.
But we can place it in a strategic area where it's not that noticeable.
Which ways do you put implants in? Because I've heard belly button, I've heard, through the nipple, I've heard through the armpit, I don't know if you could stick it through the ear. I have no idea.
The predominant way is underneath the breast,
Okay.
in the fold. silicone gel implants, because the new implants are actually more cohesive.
Okay.
The gel is thicker. It's a
Okay.
little bit more like a gummy bear rather than actually
I've heard of that.
the jello or oozing.
Right.
It makes them a little less compressible, and it limits us on where we could put them through.
But if I decided to go saline, then you could do it
Then
through.
the other options are around the areola. We
Okay.
make a smiley face around the areola.
Okay.
The other option is actually is underneath the arm,
Mhm.
but I reserve that for people who actually has a breast higher on the chest wall.
Okay. Okay.
We virtually put all of them underneath the muscle.
Okay.
I think that it actually makes it does better for mammogram,
Right.
less chance of capsular contracture, less chance of post-op bleeding,
Okay.
and it also makes it so that less chance that you can feel the implant.
Okay. All right. Is there any difference in healing time, like whether I do it through the nipple or do it under the fold?
They're virtually the same.
Same
The
thing.
recovery time, you should be back to normal daily activities in 3-4 days. I mean,
Okay.
with normal daily activities, nothing strenuous.
Okay.
And after 3 or 4 weeks, we let you go back into full activities, unrestricted.
Oh, okay. Like exercise and
Correct.
all that kind of stuff.
Now,
Okay.
after 3 or 4 weeks of not exercising, most people may have to start off a little bit slow.
Right. Okay, and I have to ask this question because I know he's going to want me to ask. When can they be touched? I mean, they're new. I know he's going to want to touch them. When can they be touched?
Well, I mean, I think they'll be ready for. You'll know when they're ready for prime time, and I think it's going to be.
He said prime time.
I think it's going to be somewhere between 3 and 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And somewhere between 3 and 4 weeks, they feel like they're part of you and not in you.
Oh, that's a good part of you and not in you. That's the goal, right?
Right.
Yeah. Silicone.
How many cc's?
I don't know. I'm just looking.
In my system
Okay.
of doing this, I try not to think about how many cc's. I
Okay.
try to think about what the actual look that you want is.
Okay.
And so instead of the patient worrying about how many milliliters or volume, or
Okay.
technical detail, it's just you tell me what you want to look like and let me figure out what it takes to do that. In the surgery, we will sit you up and try
Okay.
different sizes, and when we think we hit the eureka moment,
Okay.
that's the right size.
Okay. Now, how do you know it's the eureka moment? Because I'm asleep.
Correct. I mean, basically, with our conversation, we'll sometimes ask you to bring in a picture and show us what you want to look like.
Okay.
And we could also bring in your significant other, husband, best friend,
Okay.
and
I
who
think I
actually,
like that.
but only who know really what you want.
Okay.
Because it shouldn't be like a carnival show. It should be actually somebody comes in.
So you don't want me to bring a whole entourage of
Right.
people, is what you're saying?
But-
How many am I allowed to bring?
one in the surgery, but
One?
the main concept is actually to think about the shape that you want
Okay.
and size, but not the technical details.
Okay.
Because sometimes numbers become very powerful, and people get in their head that they want 400, but maybe 400 is not the right size. for them.
Right. So I really think I want to do this. So what is your final recommendation? What combination of things do you think I should do?
Well, after our discussion, I
Yeah.
think that we're going to use a silicone gel implant.
Okay.
We're going to place it underneath the muscle,
Okay.
and then we're going to make the incisions underneath each breast.
Okay. All right. I think I'm ready. Let's do this.
And I'm at that point where it's like, okay, let's just do it and get it over with. So I can be home and have my Percocet and my remote control.
Got to have clean hands for this type of business, right?
Right.